Hello, lovely people. This is Sakino on Sunday again. Patience. This word and this theme came up during the last days, and I was really busy with it. What does it mean, patience? It comes up a lot in therapy sessions with clients who want fast change, who wish that they were already where they want to be. But it also comes up in my own life. I used to be, when I was very young, I used to be a very, very impatient person. Everything had to happen at once. I wasn't willing to wait until things were developing. This probably, of course, had to do with the unbearable situation in my parents' family's house and situation. And everything that I did was like, it has to happen fast, it has to happen immediately. If I want something, I have to get it now. And it was very difficult for me to wait, to give things time to develop in their own way, in their own time and speed. This has changed a lot, and it has especially changed the older I get, the more days adding to my lifespan, the more patient I become, and especially in working with people. Some of my students or clients say I have a limitless patience with processes that develop in therapy, and in a certain way this is true, because from my own life experience I know that we cannot speed up things. We cannot push something that is not ready inside ourselves. It's not possible. Let's say in the 80s, 70s, 80s, when I was already starting working with people, this was completely different. The therapeutic approaches that we were using a lot of pushing. And sometimes we even pushed people into situations which were far from supportive for their process, but we didn't know better. We thought we had to speed up. We had to delete all the childhood conditioning. We had to just erase it so that the true self could blossom. Yeah, I don't know. This has completely changed for me, because when I went through all these processes myself, which I did, I noticed that with a lot of those structures, like screaming, this was basically one of the things we used in particular therapeutic approaches. It did release a certain layer of pressure that was inside of me that could be released. It did not transform the underlying mechanisms, the underlying patterns that I had unconsciously chosen to protect myself from getting hurt again. As there were like distancing myself from others, not allowing real intimacy to happen. I would go through all those structures, and I did everything that everybody else also did, because I thought, yeah, let's do it. But deep down, I never came to a point where I felt this is truly me. This is truly who I am. This is like a satisfying experience, let's say, of true intimacy happening between me and another. These moments happened, but they were rare. And only in the last 20 years, I would say, I started realizing that to heal those old wounds, what is needed mostly and foremost is patience. To be available for the next step that wants to appear. And then, of course, good to have someone by my side, like a coach or a therapist, whatever, to support that next step and allow them to be with me like a midwife or a doula, helping that new state of my true being to evolve. Unfortunately, also those kind of therapists are very rare. And I was lucky enough to encounter a few. And I'm forever grateful for those. So now, at this time in my life, patience seems to be one of my main issues, qualities to look at, to endure, to develop even more. And in my own experience, this requires that I am willing to take time for myself as well. Now, at this time, I have talked about that a lot, of Corona, this is somehow induced from the outside, because we are forced into more time with ourselves. I experience this time with myself most of the time, not always, most of the time as a blessing. And it's not always easy. I do experience loneliness. I do experience feeling longing for touch, for intimacy. And with that, I am learning more and more to be patient with those longings, with those emotions that come up, with those states of being that come to the surface. And I also do my best to provide that patience, that space of allowing whatever wants to surface with my clients, my students. And I am very grateful that I have come to that point where I can value the quality of patience as one of my most cherished qualities. Sitting with someone, just being with them, not wanting anything particular. With my clients and students, this is much more easy, of course, than when I'm sometimes looking at my private life and I am trying to be patient with a friend or someone who let's say I would like to be closer to, and they are not responding. So that patience requires more of myself. So this I wanted to share with you today. And I wish you a good Sunday, a good week ahead, and looking forward to meet you again next Sunday.